President William Ruto gets a stroke after the damage the former Deputy President Rigathi Gashagua caused goes overboard. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where we talk politics, we analyze politics, and we give you news updates as they break, and kindly consider subscribing. Now, Kenya's political landscape is shifting, and a fierce contest is unfolding in the Mount Kenya region, and the stakes could determine the country's next president. And the battle for the control of the Mount Kenya vast voting bloc is intensifying as President William Ruto and his former Deputy President Rigathi Gashagua face off in a high-stake political rivalry ahead of the 2027 general election. At the center of the contest is the projected 7.2 million voters in the region, a number that could account for more than a quarter of Kenya's total vote, according to the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. Mount Kenya is once again at the heart of Kenya's political future, and the region, long regarded as the country's most influential political kingmaker, is drawing renewed attention as early campaigns for the 2027 general election begin to take shape. From data from the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission shows a steady rise in voter registration, and since last September 2025, more than 600 new voters have been added to the national register. Of these, over 344,000 were registered in the most recent phase of the exercise. This growth signals more than just numbers. It reflects increasing political weight, and projections now indicate that Mount Kenya alone could contribute up to 1.7 million new voters out of the national target of 6.3 million by 2027. And if that target is met, then Kenya's total voter roll could rise to 28 million. Counties such as Kiambu, Nakuru, and Murang'a are leading in new registrations and further reinforcing the region's dominance in national politics. For decades, Mount Kenya has played a decisive role in shaping Kenya's leadership, and it is a region that produced three presidents, and that is Jomo Kenyatta, Mwai Kibaki, and Uhuru Kenyatta. Its influence was also evident in the 2022 general election, where William Ruto secured approximately 2.9 million votes from the region. That figure accounted for about 41% of the national total of 7.1 million votes. At the time, the alliance between Ruto and Rigathi Gashagua appeared solid, but that alliance has since fractured. Gashagua's removal from the Kenya Kwanza administration marked a turning point, triggering political uncertainty in the region that had previously voted as a bloc. Now that once predictable voting pattern is becoming increasingly fluid, and in recent weeks, Gashagua has intensified his political messaging across the region. And during an appearance in Kirinyaga County in the late March 2026, he signaled a direct challenge to the president's influence in Mount Kenya. His remarks pointed to what he described as significant decline in support for Ruto within the region. Gashagua has positioned himself as a defender of the Mount Kenya political and economic interests. He has reportedly pointed to concerns over the management of key sectors, especially coffee farming, which remains a critical source of income for many households in the central Kenya. And according to his narrative, local leaders have been sidelined, and also the region's economic concerns have not been adequately addressed. This messaging appears designed to resonate with the grassroots voters, and many of whom depend on agriculture for their livelihoods. At the same time, Gashagua sought to connect his political identity to the region's historical legacy, including its association with the Mau Mau struggle. And this approach is aimed at strengthening his appeal as a leader rooted in the region's history and identity. But Gashagua is not acting alone. Recent political developments suggest a possible alignment with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, although Uhuru Kenyatta has maintained that he does not intend to return to elective politics. His recent public engagements have drawn attention. His messages to voters have emphasized the caution and careful decision-making in future elections, and this renewed visibility, combined with Gashagua's mobilization efforts, is beginning to shape a new political bloc within Mount Kenya. For President William Ruto, the response has been swift and strategic. He has increased his presence in the region, holding frequent engagements with residents and leaders, and his message has remained consistent, the reminder of the role of Mount Kenya voter played in his 2022 victory. Ruto has also sought to counter criticism by framing it as an attempt to create a division between his administration and the people of Mount Kenya, and this approach reflects a broader effort to maintain political loyalty in the region that was central to his rise to power. Supporting this effort is his deputy Kithure Kindiki. Kindiki has taken a firm stance in defending the administration's record. He has warned against what he describes as a political intimidation and has emphasized the government's commitment in delivering on its promises. Together, these efforts signal a coordinated strategy to retain influence in Mount Kenya ahead of the 2027, but the political environment remains uncertain. The region is no longer defined by a single dominant alliance, and instead is becoming a contested space where shifting loyalties and emerging alliances are redefining the political landscape. This transformation is unfolding at a time when voter numbers are rising, increasing the region's importance even further. The implications extend beyond Mount Kenya. With such a large share of the national vote, the region's political direction could determine the outcome of the next presidential election. As a result, all campaign activity is already intensifying, and political leaders are investing time, resources, and messaging in an effort to win over voters. Grassroots mobilization is gaining momentum, yet beneath the political contest lies a deeper reality that concerns of ordinary citizens. And for many in Mount Kenya, issues such as agricultural productivity, market access, and economic stability remain central. Coffee farming, in particular, continues to be key points of focus, with farmers closely watching policy decisions and reforms that affect their livelihoods. These concerns are likely to shape voting patterns as the 2027 election approaches, and in this context, political narratives are not just about alliances or referees, they are also about trust, performance, and the ability to address everyday challenges. As the months pass, the contest between William Ruto and Rigathi Gashagua is expected to evolve, and new alliances may emerge. Old loyalties may shift, and the political map of Mount Kenya may continue to change. What remains clear is the region's central role in Kenya's democracy, a role defined not only by numbers but also by influence. As the road to 2027 takes shape, Mount Kenya stands once again at the center of the Kenya's political future, a decisive battleground where every vote will count and where the balance of power may ultimately be decided. That is all for today from Kenya Lens Media. We will bring you news updates as they break. Here, we talk politics and we analyze politics. So if you are new here, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. And also hit the notification bell, turn it on, so that you can be receiving notifications each and every time we bring you new content.